G'day, Mark. How you going?
So how are you, mate?
Good, mate. Good. West Coast. Obviously, their form hasn't been too bad over the past couple of weeks. How do you tackle those guys, and what's the key to getting open?
Yeah, you're right. They've performed well against two of the genuine pace-setting teams in Hawthorn and Essendon. And look, we just got to make sure that we get our hands on the ball. They've got a fairly top-line ruck and on-ball contingent, and that works pretty well for them. So we need to make sure we get our share inside our forward half.
Sean McKernan obviously comes in to get a chance to tackle those big blokes. How do you go about dealing with them? How do you use Sean?
Yeah, look, I think one of the really good parts of Sean's game is his leap. He's very explosive, and if you saw the way that the Essendon rucks attacked, the West Coast guys last week, part of it was Paddy Ryder, stepping off and jumping really strongly into those guys. So, that's the way Sean plays. So we think he's pretty well suited. He's played a lot of junior footy against Nick Nui in particular. So it's not something that's totally foreign to him. Yeah, they're both more, I guess, the explosive type ruckman. They're not, your 204 centimetre ruckman like Sam Jacobs, who's probably, more reliant on the body work and the finer arts of ruck work and body work. These other guys are jumpers. So I guess, like I said, the combination they come up against are probably the combination, aren't they? They're 204 or 5 and got that sort of explosiveness about them. So they're certainly a real challenge for our rucks.
Do you feel free with the guys who are rotating through the ruck, or will Josh spend more time?
Yeah, look, I think that's that'll be dependent on how we're going. I think in a perfect world, if Sam and Sean are getting their hand on the ball and we're getting our share, you'll probably have the ability just to leave Josh forward and let him continue to do what he's doing. If for whatever reason we feel as if one, the ball's not getting to Josh, or two, our rucks aren't going how we like, we've always got that option of throwing Josh in the ruck as well. Yeah, well, I think what we've been able to do is we'll be able to move the side around enough to be able to cover Brent, and I guess we a lot of the selection goes around one picking a side that you think can beat the opposition, and we feel as if we need to have that extra tool this week. So you just shuffle things around. Hendo went back last week and was really good for us. So he'll no doubt spend some time across half back at some stage, I'm sure.
Very young group.
Yeah, well, look, what we've seen so far, we've given a lot of young guys some opportunities this year, and Laird and Brown have stood up pretty well for us most of the year. There's been a whole range of other young guys, whether it be Kerridge, Lyons, Crouch, all those guys at different stages have been given responsibility. And I guess we've been really pleased sometimes, and other times, as we know with young players, you're going to get some flat moments as well. So I guess you have to expect some inconsistencies with young guys, but we're working hard to try and iron those out of their game. And by and large, our back six have been okay this year.
Sort of talking about trying to find form each week, and you just haven't been able to put the switch yet. Are the boys ready this week to start their final tilt?
How do we know? We think they're ready every week. We try and prepare them to be ready every week, and it's just not a finite game, is it? And I guess we saw some improvements last week, and there's probably periods, particularly the second quarter, I reckon, there's a period of 20 minutes where we played some really good footy, really efficient, scored every time we went into our forward 50. Again, early in the last quarter, I thought we saw it as well. So, the aim is to try and bring that as often as you can and be able to maintain that for as long as you can. And I guess the other times, we understand we're not going to have momentum for the whole game, but the periods when we don't have that momentum, being able to limit what the opposition does. So they're probably some of the areas we're working on at the moment.
Have you talked about the importance of the game considering the ladder positions?
Yeah, look, I don't think, as a coaching group, we don't raise that with the players. I think they're probably aware of it, I would say, but if they're not, it doesn't matter. We're more worried about making sure that we iron out those inconsistencies in our game that we're talking about. If we, I don't think the players, it's here nor there. I think they understand the gravity of the situation. They're working really hard at getting better, and if we get better and we win, as we win more, obviously we move closer to where we want to get to. So it's not something that's front of mind.
Is there anybody under the clouds fitness-wise?
Yeah, look, we had a couple of guys who were a little bit sore, but all those guys are going to be okay, we think. And look, I guess it's I I think round 15, are we? I think this is the time when players, their bodies have taken a bit of punishment over the way, and particularly guys like Danger and Tomo who are in and around the thick of it most of the game time they play. So they've got a bump and a knock, but they've recovered sufficiently and they'll be fine to play on the weekend. It's a bit like I say, every team. Kerr misses this week because he's knocked around, and I'm sure they've got a couple of players who are a little bit sore as well. So that's what happens this time of year.
What about left field? A couple of weeks ago, Sam was raised the prospect that he may be being approached for a Melbourne job. Any movement?
No, none whatsoever.
Something released about
In terms of, I thought if someone asked me how would I answer this, and I just thought the amount of time I've spent on it is when I walk into a press conference, what if someone asked me about it? And that's about the only thing I think about it. One is my brain space is consumed trying to get the best out of our team, and two, I think there's a very, very, very high likelihood that they're going to go with a more experienced person. So, so I haven't concerned myself at all with it.
Muzzle, to ask a question for Channel 10.
Yep.
Geez,
we're very things have changed a bit in the media.
We've just been friendly.
It's fantastic.
West Coast because actually do the same time.
Yeah, sure.
Taylor Walker's had all the hair shorn off. Has Samson lost his strength? Do you know anything about that at the moment?
No, look, I watched it last night, and he looked a little bit sheepish when they were doing it. But in all honesty, surely we all agree it looks much better now, don't we? it was getting beyond the joke, and I'm sure he's a bit more comfortable with it. But it'll be interesting to see how he goes, whether he starts the long haul and grows it long again for his comeback match, or whether he keeps it short. But he's just got to be careful with he's got a fair set of Port Melbourne peers, and he can't have it too short, can he?
The home record, has that been addressed at all? It's been pretty poor this season. Is that something you want to pride yourself on?
Yeah, look, it is. We obviously we want to perform well in front of our own crowd, and particularly the start of the year, we didn't get away to a great start at home. So yes, we have a mantra that every time we play here, we want to perform really strongly. So it doesn't change this week. I know the players, we haven't played here for a little while, so to get back on our home turf is really important for us, and we're expecting a good crowd, got a good time slot, and we expect really strong support, so we want to make sure we put a good show on.
The biggest story in town is Essendon, well, not this time, but Melbourne. As you know, Sam Third and something. What do you feel is
It's just such a tough one when you're when you're on the outside and just reading what's in the paper. You really have to, I guess, sit back and the guys you mentioned have said, look, let's just wait until it's all played out, and I know those guys and I trust both those guys, so you have to give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's wait and see until all the information comes out, and then we can make an informed judgment. Until you have all the facts in front of you, it's really difficult to judge. So that's what I'm waiting to do. I'm prepared to give those two guys, with the integrity they have, the benefit of the doubt. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mark.